So let's now press on with this template design. So what I said on the in the previous lesson is I was actually thinking about adding a container in between the two here, and I still like the idea of that because it's just going to break the image and description here up with the image and description, because they're almost like two sections that are identical. So it's nice to add a bit of a break in that design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the plus here, going to add a new structure, and we're going to go horizontal. And we're going to keep the background white here, so we will actually have to end up changing this this border as white as well. So we can do that in just a minute. So what we want to do now with this new container is I'm just going to very simply drag in a heading, and this is all going to be hard coded this time. So this isn't going to be dynamic, but this is going to be specific to this category of case studies. So this is specifically going to be about blogs. This is a blog website. So every template that we categorize, every case study that we categorize as a blog will run off of this template, and it will have some text here about what our clients can expect if they decided to have a blog built by us. So let's do that now. I'm going to actually come along. So I've added this heading here. Let's change this to let's change this to building a blog, or building your next blog, and to leave it like that. And now if we come back to add another element, this time we want to add a text editor. So let's drag that in next to it. Now, of course, at the minute we have the direction running as horizontally. We want to change this to vertical. So let's change that vertical. Let's justify in the center and align in the center. So that is going to be centered. And now all we want to do is just style these bits. So the text here, I'm just going to pull in some more hipster stuff. So let's just drag in a couple of sentences. I'm going to copy that from Hipsum, come back to here and paste this in. In fact, I'm going to just go with one paragraph so that it looks like that. That is okay. So now let's just come to style. Let's edit the style here. Let's change this text color to text, and let's change that typography to text. And then the heading here, let's come along to style. Let's change that to primary. And then we'll change that text color to accent. So we have that section just like this. So we could either add some padding to the top and bottom, or we could actually just edit the height of this section. So let's just add a min height. Let's go with maybe 300 or 280, 300. We could also add an icon to the top there, I guess, couldn't we? That was kind of specific to a blog. So let's look for an icon. We could in fact just use an icon box, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference which one. How we go about it, because we achieve the same thing. So let's actually now look for something that resembles a blog. Do we have anything? Not really, but we could go with something like that. We could also make this a bit smaller. We've got the size here. I'm going to keep that small, maybe like 20. And then under the primary color, we could make that accent. We could make that the purple. And we could just reduce a little bit more padding, reduce that padding just by adding a, oh no, not on the top. We want to add that to the bottom, of course. Add some negative margin to the bottom just so that it comes down a little bit to build in your next blog. So something like that maybe, I think looks good. Now, of course, we need to change this color here. So let's do that. Going to come up to this top section. We're going to come to style. I still sometimes call them sections, as you'll notice. Of course, you know that I mean a container. Let's come to shape divider. Let's come to the bottom and let's change that to white. Build in your next blog. So this could be an introduction of what they could expect us to build for them. So that looks okay. And then as we scroll down, we have this section here. So I think that looks a lot better. So we are getting there. I think that's going to bring this lesson to an end, and then in the next lesson we can carry on finishing off this template.